Good morning, class 12 commerce. This is your subject economics, chapter number 9, rural development, lecture number 1. So, we will start with the rural development. How the government focuses on the development of rural areas. What are the challenges faced by the government in the development of rural areas? Okay, let's begin with the topic meaning of rural development. Okay, rural development means an action plan for the social and economic growth of rural areas. Okay, social and economic growth. What is the social growth? Social growth means that there is development in hospitals, fine. There are proper hygienic condition in hospitals. The areas, the surroundings are neat and clean. There is proper education facilities. So, we are focusing here on the social infrastructure. And what about the economic growth? Economic growth means that proper roads should be there, proper electricity should be there, proper transportation facility should be there, and proper GDP. There should be increase in GDP from rural areas. Okay, because see, we know that most of the industries, most of the MNCs, they are set up in urban areas. Fine. Giving you example, see, अगर हम अपने एरिया की बात करें तो अगर हम बात करें गुड़गांव की और गुरुग्राम, यू कैन से, ठीक है, कमियां निकालने बैठ जाओगे सारे. सी, नाउ इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट गुरुग्राम और गुड़गांव, जो भी आपको सुटेबल लगे प्रोनाउंसिएशन में. ओके, सो यू विल फाइंड दैट इन गुड़गांव there are so many MNCs. Okay, it is basically famous for the industrialization area. This मानेसर, अगर हम मानेसर की बात करें तो मानेसर भी एक इंडस्ट्रियलाइज्ड एरिया में आता है, ठीक है. बट क्या आपको अपने हेली मंडी में कोई इंडस्ट्री दिखेगी? और इधर आसपास जो विलेजेस हैं, क्या आपको वहां पर कोई इंडस्ट्री देखने को मिलती है? नो. व्हाई? Because we belongs to a rural area and still there is a need of development. Slowly and steadily the area is developing, but जितने टाइम में ये रूरल एरिया compete करेगा अर्बन को, उतने में तो अर्बन और आगे पहुंच जाएगा. Fine. And what is the main problem behind the less development of rural areas? It is lack of resources, lack of awareness, lack of income, lack of education, and all these will be removed only and only if a proper heed is paid to the aspect. So, the action plan is to focus on the emerging challenges in rural areas. Principal challenges are, अब अगर हम कुछ principal challenges की बात करें, so challenges which are faced by the government in development of rural areas or which is faced by the people of rural areas, those are, number one is challenges of rural credit. Challenges of rural credit facility. That means credit facility means availability of money. Credit facility means availability of money. So there is a challenge which is faced by the rural people belongs to the rural areas, that they do not get easy accessibility to the money. Fine. Then they have to borrow at a higher rate of interest. Second is challenges of rural marketing. Challenges of rural marketing. Now, what is there in this? In your business studies, I think you have studied the chapter marketing, or you will study in further classes. So, this marketing is that gathering the products, processing the products, grading of products, packaging, storing, selling. So this is one of the challenge in rural areas, because you will hardly find that there is proper go down facility in rural areas. You will hardly find that there is, proper transportation facilities in rural areas. So there is a problem of marketing. Up rural areas में there is a dominance of primary sector. Okay, primary products. So to carry primary products from one place to another place, you need proper transportation, you need proper roads, you need proper marketing strategies, you need go downs to store them. Fine. So there is a challenge of rural marketing. Then comes the emerging challenges. So in this, we'll study about animal husbandry, horticulture, fisheries. Okay. So let's begin with the challenge of rural credit. Again, let's memorize. First is challenge of rural credit. Second is challenge of rural marketing. Third number is emerging challenges. First number, rural credit. Second number, rural marketing. Third number, emerging challenges. Fine. So what is there in the rural credit challenge? देखो, अगर बात होती है, you all are commerce student, you very well know that there are, on the basis of time periods, credit availability is divided into three parts: short term credit, medium term credit, and long term credit. Okay, so short term credit is basically required for the purpose of, for the purchase of inputs like seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and insecticides, besides making payment of electricity bill. And this loan is generally raised for a period of 6 to 12 months. For a period of 6 to 12 months. This is short term credit, जो daily routine खर्चे के लिए you need. Okay. Then you have medium term credit. Medium term credit, its time period is 12 months to 5 years. 12 months to 5 years. Most important one marker question. Okay. Then you have long term credit. Long term credit. Long term credit is from 5 years to 20 years. 5 years to 20 years. Okay. Short term credit 6 to 12 months, medium term credit 12 months to 5 years, long term credit from 5 years to 20 years. So medium term credit is required for the purchase of machinery, for construction of fences, for digging the well, and long term credit is required to buy the land, for the diversification of the business, for the permanent improvement on the existing land. So these, I think you have studied in your accountancy also: short term credit, medium term credit, and long term credit. Short term credit time period 6 to 12 months, medium term credit time period 12 months to 5 years, long term credit 5 years to 20 years. Okay. So the credit requirements of the farmers may be classified as productive and unproductive credit requirements. What is productive credit requirement? It is related to the production activity. And what is the unproductive requirement of the credit? It is related to the कंजम्पशन एक्टिविटी. ओके, सो अगर फार्मर्स को जरूरत है क्रेडिट की फॉर द प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटी, दैट मीन्स हेयर he requires money for the production purpose. He wants to grow something on the land, so here he requires money for the production of goods. Okay, now if he requires money for unproductive purpose, what is unproductive purpose? Unproductive purpose means now he requires credit for the consumption of goods. Fine. Now we have done types of credit, then we have sources of credit. Sources of agriculture credit are broadly classified as institutional and non-institutional sources. Non-institutional sources includes landlords, village traders, money lenders, and institutional sources includes government, commercial banks, regional rural banks. Okay, so traditionally most credit needs of the farmers were met through these sources. पुराने टाइम में क्या होता था, ये जो है these were the major sources of credit, because what happens, usually landlords, village traders and money lenders, they don't require mortgage, they don't require collateral security. What they do, they keep some percentage of the production with themselves. Okay, whatever is produced by the farmer, some percentage of the farmer's production is kept by them, but they charge heavy rate, they charge heavy interest, they sometimes punishes the farmers, they snatches their lands. Okay, then you have institutional sources, government, commercial bank, regional rural banks. These are the most secured institutions. Okay, all the commercial banks, government banks, private banks, regional rural banks, these all are secured institutions. Okay, so non-institutional sources accounted for 93% of the total borrowing of the farmers in the beginning of first 5-year plans. So in institutional sources, we have cooperative credit society, we have commercial banks, SBI, State Bank of India, we have regional rural banks and the land development banks and NABARD. Now see, first is cooperative credit society. Cooperative credit society is a form to provide financial support to the farmers. To provide financial support to the farmers. The cooperative credit society provide adequate credit to the farmers at a reasonable rate of interest. Currently, cooperative society account for 16 to 17% of the rural credits. The society ensures that there is a timely flow of credit to the farmers. They accept the deposits from their members. They grant loans to the members at reasonable rate of interest. Examples: village service cooperative credit societies, employees cooperative credit societies, etc. Okay, so what is the function of cooperative credit society? They provide timely financial support to their members and they provide credit facility at cheaper rate of interest. At cheaper rate of interest. Fine. Then we have State Bank of India and the Commercial Bank. Okay. So State Bank of India, it was set up in 1995. Most important 1 mark question. SBI 1955. 1955. It was set up in 1955 with a focus of rural credit. The government realized that rural credit needs could not be met by the cooperative credit societies alone, so there was a need of commercial banks. This promoted nationalization of certain banks in 1969. The nationalized commercial banks were directed to offer credit directly to the farmers as well as indirectly through cooperative society. That means these commercial banks, including SBI and all other commercial banks, they provided direct help to the people. They provided direct help to the people and indirect help to the cooperative societies. That means they provided loan to the cooperative societies as well. Okay. Role of rural bank in rural development. देखो क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी दे दी फार्मर्स को चीपर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट पे, ठीक है. Then eliminating money lenders जो थे, महाजन्स, money lenders, village traders, so they all were removed. Liberal credit system and conditions of credit by the commercial bank has eliminated money lenders. Okay? और पता है क्या होता है, अगर मनी लेंडर के थ्रू क्रेडिट इनफ्लो आउटफ्लो होता है मनी का, so that is generally not added in your economy. That is not added in the national income and that doesn't boost the economy. But if the transfer of money takes place through the banking system, it boosts the economy. It provides an acceleration to the economy. Okay. Then control of famines. Government can maintain buffer stock after Green Revolution to control famines. देखो अब क्या है, गवर्नमेंट के पास इतना, गवर्नमेंट अपने गोडाउन्स में, अपने बैंक में, गवर्नमेंट जो है कैन मेंटेन इट्स रिजर्व्स. ओके. नाउ रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स. Regional rural banks, or known as RRBs, were set up to promote credit supplies, particularly in remote rural areas and backward districts. These banks cooperate at the district level and are under the obligation to focus on the credit needs of weaker section of the rural population. And what are the features of regional rural banks? See, regional rural banks share capital was subscribed by central government. Share capital, you will study in your accountancy, in companies accounts, what is share capital. Share capital refers to the overall capital of the firm, a portion of total capital of the firm. Fine, that is known as share capital. So it's the shares of regional rural banks, they were subscribed or they were purchased by the central government, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड स्पॉन्सरिंग बैंक. जो भी बैंक उसको स्पॉन्सर कर रहा है उसके लिए ये वो लोग उसके शेयर्स खरीद लेते थे. ठीक है. तो शेयर्स ऑफ रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स, दे वर परचेज्ड बाय सेंट्रल बैंक, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड स्पॉन्सरिंग बैंक. देन शेयर कैपिटल. नाउ व्हाट वाज द परसेंटेज ऑफ द शेयर कैपिटल? Share capital subscribed by the central government was 50%. That means majority अगर हम बात करें तो regional rural banks और RRBs. एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आ सकता है फुल फॉर्म ऑफ RRB. It is regional rural banks. Fine. So सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास कितनी शेयर कैपिटल थी? इट वाज 50%, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट 35% एंड स्पॉन्सरिंग बैंक 15%. Okay, all type of assistance means help. All type of help is given by sponsoring bank during first 5 years. Okay, then we have NABARD. Full form of NABARD, most important, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Now, what are the role of NABARD? NABARD is an apex institution handling policy, planning and operations in the field of rural credit and related economic activities. Main function is to provide credit in the rural areas, to take appropriate measures to improve the credit delivery system. The bank was to focus on restructuring of credit institutions and training of personnel, to undertake monitoring and evaluation of project refinanced by it, evaluating, providing refinance to the lending institutions in rural areas. ठीक है, फाइनेंस प्रोवाइड करना लैंडिंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस को, दैट मींस जो भी इंस्टीट्यूशंस लोन प्रोवाइड करते हैं, मनी प्रोवाइड करते हैं, उनको पैसा कौन देगा? उन इंस्टीट्यूशन को पैसा देगा NABARD. ओके, ब्रिंगिंग अबाउट और प्रमोटिंग इंस्टीट्यूशनल डेवलपमेंट. Institutional development means all those institutions who are working for the rural development of rural areas, or who are giving the credit facility in the rural areas. It's the responsibility of NABARD to take care of those institutional areas, to take care of those institutions, to promote those institutions, and to evaluate, monitor and inspect the client banks. That means there should not be any illegal activity that will be taking in the client banks. No, there will be complete transparency. Supervisory role will be laid by the NABARD. And NABARD also help RBI. It acts as a coordinator in the operation of rural credit institutions. So, NABARD, full form of NABARD, what is the role of NABARD? This we have discussed. Okay, in your book, one point will be given in the blue box. Okay, Kisan Credit Card Scheme, KCC. This is also important question. Kisan Credit Card Scheme. So, Kisan Credit Card Scheme aims at adequate and timely support to the farmers for their short-term credit needs. Under this scheme, bank may issue Kisan Credit Card to the farmers who are otherwise eligible for short-term credit for crop production. The farmers under this scheme are issued a credit card cum passbook incorporating the name, address, particulars of land holding, borrowing limits, validity period, etc. So, your homework is, you will write the role of cooperative credit societies and role of NABARD in rural credit. So this is your homework. In the next lecture, we'll discuss the another challenge of agricultural marketing or the challenge of rural marketing. Okay, I know that you might be feeling bored because the subject is completely theoretical, but you have to study because you will lose marks only in this subject, because macroeconomics is quite conceptual and you can understand that, but this theoretical portion is, you need to learn, either you cram or you do anything, but you have to understand it. Okay, at least give it a reading daily so that things will be more clear to you. Thank you for today.